So the amount of time that people are spending now on Facebook is astronomical. Think about the time that people spend on a thread, which draws a lot of attention. I'm thinking about a particular council member in Portland, and he's discussing this activist in Portland that's been barred from City Hall, and I see how much energy this person is putting into that thread, and I realize why. It's because they're very concerned about what the other person, the activist, is putting out there on Twitter. And so you can learn a lot on social media, sometimes from just observing the actions of others. You can see the narcissism. Now there's a downside, of course, to getting connected with someone on Facebook, whether you're a woman or a man. There's a downside to being connected with someone that you may be interested in, that you want to be interested in you. See, so when you put out all that information, all those opinions, and all those photographs, you see, there's a little bit of mystery that is basically being canceled out. So here's what you look like on this angle. Here's what you look like on this angle. Here's your nose close up. Here's a flattering picture. Here's a not so flattering picture. Here's a picture where you think you look good, but everybody else thinks you look like a gosh darn drunk sitting there taking a selfie as you play video poker with your friend Donna, with your little, Budweisers, girls' night out, drunkards. Put whatever packaging you want on it. It is what it is. So a lot of people don't realize how they're being perceived by others. I put a lot of stuff out with regards to my opinions and pictures of myself in different circumstances, and I know intuitively how they've probably turned off a lot of people. But in particular, some of the ideas that may come across, in my mind is just, here's my idea. But the other person, it's like, why are you screaming at me? So Facebook does replace relationships. It does replace the revolution for a lot of people. You see these meetups and these groups where, people are fighting on the thread, just like the people that are fighting in the street. And it's very strange behavior. So it's something worth noting. Facebook is a detriment to a lot of positive action. Social media addiction. It does have an effect on the brain, a drug-like effect on the brain. The amount of likes that some people are able to generate, the amount of comments, the amount of attention, all psychological attention, combined with the constant staring at a computer screen instead of being exposed to something like the sun. A lot of people spend their time indoors, and so literally their energy centers, some people call them chakras, you can even just refer to as the heart, connected with this piece of technology, and that piece of technology being really like a middleman, a middle robot between people. So whether it be political, relationship, or otherwise, it has become a replacement. There are misunderstandings. People become addicted to it. And, some people, they let Facebook become their replacement for genuine friendship or real connection, to such a degree that if they're blocked by someone, that's in a lot of cases the end of the connection, because Facebook is the thing, right? We're so connected to the whole world, but at the same time, we're so disconnected from each other and perhaps ourselves. Being present with nature. Connecting with nature is a core fundamental of psychic protection, or protecting your mind against intrusion. That's why I'm spending more time in nature, and I'm spending less time on social media, and less time looking at the comment section, less time checking my email. I'm spending more days, more hours out of the week outside. I'm preparing to just plant some things in the garden, and spending a few moments in the morning outside, getting some sun early on, trying to do that more before just going fully in to the Borg. And I run a person's website. For those that don't know, now we're going to all original content. Meaning, instead of me posting stuff from other sources, there's more time for me to spend in front of the computer rewriting certain things, adding some Twitter feeds, adding some video, making it original content, even though the story has already been reporting on. In other words, doing something other than copy and paste. And so really, talk about a yin-yang. Talk about making the most of my time when I'm online and being more efficient per hour than I was a year ago doing the same job. But this time a little bit faster. And then, instead of how much internet data I have being an issue, how much internet I can watch, how much YouTube, how much domestic manufactured civil unrest, it's now like greatly reduced to where that is less of an issue. I still enjoy being able to watch videos, but sometimes going in situations to where our ability to access all of that and unlimited internet, sometimes it's a good thing for us to break the addiction. Okay. For us to break the spell. And that really was probably one of the more magical things about my first time going off grid. I was in a situation in Costilla County where I didn't need to be online in order to live. I was broke as hell. Things were very different 4 years ago during that particular spell. Late 2012, early 2013, first time being out in the middle of nowhere, somewhere like that. Very little money and very limited technology, but I got through it. And I accomplished some positive things while I was there. Things in the physical world, and of course, those things that come from work within. And so let this be a little bit of advice to you, It's not so much like the concern about the internet going down, but the internet being controlled, because they want people on the internet. And they want people to spend their time on a lot of these counterfeit conspiracy theories that go nowhere. They enjoy using the internet as a tool to promote their illusion of separation agenda. So it's important for people to understand this thing that is obviously a double-edged sword. You can put out information that's positive. You can also be programmed by propaganda that's highly negative and destructive. How you maintain and continue your relationship with this amazing technology is up to you. But it will be said here and now, there is a reason why a lot of people are closing their Facebook accounts, whether they state it or not. What they're really saying to the people in their world, their community, people that knew them, is they're not okay with technology being the middleman anymore. They miss the real thing. They miss real dates. They miss real meetups. They miss real conversations. They miss real groups. They miss real things. So if you see people disappear themselves on Facebook, don't assume automatically it's a conspiracy. And they may not even know why they did it. I'm here to let you know why they did it. Maybe they're reaching out to you, crying out for help. And perhaps you might find yourself also doing the same thing, but we don't need to play games. We don't need to act like we don't have emotions. We shouldn't be ashamed to be human beings that are resisting to be assimilated into the Borg. Tell people about it. Write articles about it. Don't be embarrassed. And you're not crazy, and neither am I. If you just do a simple Google search, Facebook mental illness, Facebook mind control, Facebook emotions manipulated, Facebook negative influence on relationships, and then not to mention, married folks that may be Facebook friends that'll argue about, how they interact with others on Facebook and jealousy issues. I can just imagine. So these are all things that you should consider. Alex Ansary signing off here in the National Forest, March 10th, 2017.